My name is Jaden Taylor, and today we'll be going over programming workflow, which includes using GitHub Branches, daily merges, and reporting progress on Linear, with the goal of reducing headaches and programming conflicts. This video is intended for the tree growth team, but other teams are welcome to adopt this model if they wish. Sensitive code has been blurred out for your convenience. Let's start off with branches. If you don't know what branches are or why they're useful, watch this video first to get a better understanding. So here inside of our growth spurt repository, we have the branch button. So we've got different branches like master, endpoint ignore case, lambda, dev, db, stage, etc. But the main branches we want to look at are master, dev, and stage branch. Now we have what's called the broomstick method, which has individual branches going all the way to the master branch. At the master branch, this is what goes live, what customers or users will see, also known as production or main branch. Then we have the development branch, which is what only programmers will see. This is where we run test cases to see how things go, which will get pushed to master if things go well. Then lastly, we have individual branches, which can be small teams that are working on a specific task, or could be an individual programmer. These are also known as task branches. In some cases, we have an extra branch called the beta branch, also known as stage branch. This beta branch is a secondary live branch. This is to see how customers will react to certain products or features or updates. Just as a reminder, the main and the stage branch are both live branches, while the dev or individual branches are not. Now, if we go back to GitHub in the growth spurt repository and go back to the branches, we can see that this follows the secondary broomstick method because it has the master, dev, and a stage branch. However, if we go into organizations, go over to record linking lab, and into Data Finder, we can see that this follows the first broomstick method because it only has a master and a dev branch located. So let's make a branch. With our method, we want to make individual branches off of the dev branch. In our case, we want a branch called getRecordID. However, if you look here, it says create branch getRecordID from master. We don't want that. So in order to build a branch off of dev, we actually have to go to the dev branch, and then we type out get record ID. And then it says create branch get record ID from dev. So let's go ahead and create that branch. Now that we have get record ID branch, let's go check it out in VS Code. And this is in Git Bash. You can use whatever terminal you want. Right here, we are in the dev branch. But if we do a git pull, in order to sync changes, it'll pop up with a lot of changes that have happened recently, as well as get record ID, which is a new branch that we created. There's two ways to go to that branch. You can either click this button down here and see all the different branches which are here. So it's right here. Or you can type get checkout get record ID. And then we are in that branch. So let's create a simple function and call it get record ID. And let's add a comment in here. And let's say pass. So there's no logic in here, but this is a good placeholder for the start of our project. So we can save those changes. Then we can go to source control or start of get record ID function. Go ahead and commit those changes and then sync changes. Now let's say you didn't finish your project in one working day, and you want to finish working on it the next day. Well, we've got news for you. It's called taking your meds. Why?
It's symbolic.
Taking your meds is just another term for merging daily. Merging daily is keeping up to date on the latest version of dev. The reason why we do this is, let's say you're working on the same branch, get record ID, for 2 months straight. During that time, the original dev that you created this branch from could be super outdated. By the time you submit your project, it could be a massive merge conflict. By merging daily, you should only have small merge conflicts. That way, you're building your project on the most up-to-date version of dev. It's kind of like having a splinter and taking it out immediately, rather than letting the splinter sit there for several months and get infected. So let's do that. First step is to do git pull. As you can see, there have been some changes. We do git merge origin/dev. The other way is you can do up here, Control-Shift-P, do git merge branch, and just make sure to do the origin/dev. but I like doing this way down here. So we'll go and click, and it says there's a merge conflict here. In order to fix a merge conflict, we click this button, Resolve and Merge Editor. Now you'll see two different options. We're going to close this here. On the left side, we have incoming changes, and on the right side, we have current changes. And then on the bottom here is what is actually going to happen. So we're going to review the changes over here, and then look at what we have, and then compare the two. When in doubt, we want to accept the incoming changes. Now that we have that here, we can look at the changes that we were going to make right here. And let's just go ahead and copy that. And let's paste it onto our original right here. So we can put that right before and keep all the changes that were just made by the previous user. Now we'll go ahead and click Complete Merge. Now that we have those changes ready to go, you can see we have the incoming changes here, as well as our changes that we want to make here. When in doubt, accept the incoming changes first, then add your code that you've been working on top of it. And once you're done, you can go ahead and commit those changes. Now you can continue working like normal and keep up to date on the changes that just happened. Now let's go ahead and make a pull request to the dev branch. In most cases, this project should be completely finished before submitting a pull request to the dev branch. This is technically bad practice what we're doing right now. However, let's pretend like this project is complete. So we'll go to GitHub here, and we can go to Compare and Pull Request, Get Record ID function finished. Now this is very important. This says it's comparing and merging to master. We do not want that. Let's change this to dev. Now once we've done that, we click Create the Pull Request, and we're done. Do not do this part. This part is for the team lead to do, and let the team lead decide, is this going to pass, or they can send it back to you with more revisions. Now that we've completed our project and submitted it, it's time to update our project on Linear. So here is Linear. If we go up to Profile, you can see all the projects that I've been working on. I have 1 in review, 6 in progress, 18 of them still need to get done, and have 39 done. Each have their different levels of priority. This one's medium, there's a low priority, there's some high priority. So let's take a look at the one that we were just working on. Create Get Record ID function in Data Finder. You can add comments like just finished the project, make a comment, whatever you find. If you find bugs, you can leave comments. This is for you to keep track as you're working on your project. So since we've finished, we can change this progress status to in review. If the pull request gets accepted, either the team lead will change this to done, or if not, you can simply change this to done just like that. If you want to create a new issue, you can create the new issue yourself. Test some description here. You can change it to do. Set the priority level. You can assign who is going to be doing this project, likely yourself. And then you can add what type of project this is. And then let's say it's still in Data Finder. And then you can create the issue. So if you look at your issues, you can see that test was just created. Yeah. That's it for now. If you want to learn more about GitHub, you can check out the link above. Good luck and have fun programming.